Hi everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I've got a simple coloring project featuring a brand new holiday stamp from Pink Fresh Studio. They have a whole holiday release out and it is fantastic, and I had a lot of fun with this stamp. So let's jump in and look at the products. Here is the stamp. It is called Cozy Christmas Wishes. And as you can see, it's a big old stamp. Now there are a few little details at the bottom that you can stamp separately to add a little more in, but I'm just going to use the main stamp with some embossing ink and white powder. And I've got two different color mediums today. One, I'm going to use just some simple colored pencils, and I also have some Zig clean color markers. For my cardstock, I'm going to do one panel on Kraft and one panel on gray, and both will be on white note card bases. So you can see this stamp is pretty big. It's as big as my hand. It's basically as big as a card front. Now I am going to trim this down just a tiny bit using a die that you'll see in a little bit. But first I just want to get it lined up so that it's pretty straight. I'm going to stick my big heavy-duty bar magnet down because I'm going to be stamping this 3 times. The nice thing about a stamp positioner, you can get it back in the same place time and time again. And I feel like when you have a full card panel stamp, you're going to sometimes need to do that. So I'm going to use my embossing magic all over the cardstock just to get all the static and any oil off of my paper, because I don't want my powder to stick anywhere that there is not embossing ink. I'm going to ink this up really well. I'm really going over this, and I'm not even showing you the full length and scope of just how much I'm going to ink it up. But here's what I do. Got my little Swiffer cloth, and I use this just so that my hand can glide over the misty door smoothly. I clean with it, I stamp with it. It allows me to press and give smooth, even pressure. Now, when I first saw the impression, I knew, yep, we are going to ink it up, and we are going to hit it for a second time. Again, repeat the smooth pressure all over. And finally a third time. And as you know, this wouldn't be possible without a stamping positioner like the Misty, because it lets you go right over where you stamp. And that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to be able to see the impression. Now I've got this, actually this is a brand new pot of Brutus Monroe Alabaster. I love this powder. So I laid down coat number 1. And then I thought, you know what, just to be sure, I'm going to sprinkle this on. And as I was sprinkling, because this is so full and I wasn't really prepared, a whole bunch of it fell out. But that's okay. No worries. Going to collect it all and put it back in. The old folded paper trick. I don't usually show this, but I used to have a whole system for, like I had this embossing tray with a hole in the middle. And then I saw my friend Laura Bassin just use a piece of paper. And I thought, she's so smart. She really is smart. My heat tool is hot. And I am going to work my way quickly over each area until everything is melted, and that looks great. Now for adding color. I decided to pull out my colored pencils. Now I have a set of 24 Faber-Castell pencils. I hardly use them. They sit in this cute little holder and they look at me and say, Cathy, try me. I'm really not that scary. So I decided to keep it very simple. One red for the berries, working my way around. One green for the wider, I guess, chubbier leaves. And this is not Faber-Castell. This is actually one of my favorite colored pencils of all time. It is pencil 989 from Prismacolor, the Chartreuse. It's fantastic. And the other thing that's very cool about this is that it's surprisingly opaque on the Kraft. Again, I'm not really a master of any medium at this point in terms of color, but I'm still going to try. I think the thing that I like about colored pencils is you can sharpen the points as often as you need, and that helps you to get into sort of these little tiny places. And if watercolors or Copics intimidate you, well, these are colored pencils. We've been using these since we were knee-high to a grasshopper. And I don't know if that's true, but colored pencils are a very familiar and typically a very affordable medium. Now these Faber-Castells are a little more expensive, but you know, there's so many great colored pencils out there and you can grab them and go. Oh, look at that. I did create sort of a two-tone holly leaf, but I really don't have the full range of colored pencils with only these 24, so I did the best that I could. Not bad. And next, I'm going to cut out the panel just a little bit. This is a die that's part of a die set that I have been using so much this year, Waffle Flower Crafts, the A2 Layers dies. And this is cut a perfect size for my white note card. Now, I already scored this and folded it off camera. And I put some foam tape on the back because I'm going to pop it up. So 3 strips will do, and then I'll just line that up over the card base, and you can see that just nice little bit of framing margin space for my project. So there's card 1. I went ahead and stamped the same stamp onto some smoke cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. And on this one I decided, well, I'm going to get out a few zig markers. See how thin the points are? Now I'm using these not really in the watercolor method where you color down and, use a water pen or a brush to draw it out. I'm just using them as markers. And I will link to a video that I did once before, same idea, gray cardstock and using zig clean color real brush markers because they really work great as markers. And again, they go down really opaque. Can't really see through to the paper, right? And I just think that looks great. Now, I didn't have a second green to do a two-tone for the holly leaves, but I thought this green worked just fine. And again, I'll link all the colors below that I'm using. Here, I decided to go with the yellow bird, and that's it. And that's a totally different feel. I don't know which one I like better. I put that on a little white note card base as well and trimmed that down. So you got 2 Christmas cards. I feel like the one on the right is a little warmer, just because it's on Kraft cardstock. Which one do you like better? In fact, let me know in the comments below. And if you don't like either, well, But thank you so much for watching today. I would love to have you become a subscriber to my channel. And also, if you don't want to miss any videos from me, hit that notification bell that you find below. And every time I post a video, you will get notified. Thanks so much and have a fantastic day.